Okay, welcome back, guys. Um, so far, we have learned how to create a new Node.js project, and at the moment, we have our index.js file and our package.json file. So far, what we have now in our index.js file is we are importing HTTP module that I mentioned comes installed with our Node.js, so we don't need to install it from scratch again. And on line 4, we are doing http.create server, which I mentioned that is a higher order function that takes a callback as a parameter, and inside our callback we have the request and response parameters. Now on line 11 we are creating a variable and assigning it to the value of 8,000, and on line 12 we are saying server.listen, the variable we created called port, which is now standing in place of 8,000, and now we are saying app listening on port 8,000. So what we are doing with the port is we are creating a temporary virtual location on our local device for the for our network traffic. Sorry. So just before we go on to the plan for this video, let me run npm start so I am sure everything is working fine. So if I do npm start and click on send, I'm getting I am now working properly, and here everything is fine. Okay, so at the moment, the way our app works at the moment is that no matter what route the client is trying to access, we are sending the same information back. What I mean is, right now I'm on my home route. If I come here to /contact, if I try to make a get request to /contact, I am now working properly. If I try to access /about, I am now working properly. If I try to access /ife, I am now working properly. Very rarely will you want to do this. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where anybody wants to do this. If you are building an application, you want to display information that is tailored to each route the client is trying to access. And that is what we are going to learn how to do in this video. Before we go into that, let me show you that on the request body, we have the URL, and I can just come here and do request.url. I will start my server again. Just a minute. Okay, so if I come here, hit send, I can see I am on /ife. If I change this to about, I can see I am on /about. So if I keep changing it, I will see if I change this back to contact us, I'll see I am on /contact us. So we are going to use this request.url and our knowledge of if and else statement that we have learned last year to display information that is tailored to each route that the client is trying to access. So what I'm trying to say is I will do, okay, let me create a new variable and say let URL, and I'll say request.url. We'll do this first. And then I can now say if URL equals home, the home route, display this. Let me cut this and paste it here. Say this is the home route. Good. So let me delete this console.log. Stop and start. npm start. App listening on port 8,000. So if I come here, cut this contact us all, and make a request to the home routes, I am seeing this is the home route. So that means now we are on the home route. But here, if I try to make a request to /about, see that it just keeps loading and loading and loading. I don't get the response back. This is because we are not displaying information for the about route now. All we are doing is creating content, displaying this content for the home route. So what we are going to do is use else. Let me copy this and paste it again and say this is the route every other request comes to. So if I save this, start my server again, it's npm start, and I can say send. I can say this is the route every other request comes to. So if I come here and say change this to contacts, this is the route every other request comes to. But if I make a request to my home route, I see this is the home route. So what we are going to do now is we see that this works. We are going to take our knowledge of if, else if, and else to create routes for each of the contents we want users to be, each of the routes, sorry, we want the client to be able to make a request to. So I'm going to say else if URL is about. I'm going to make another one here. Say else if URL contacts, and another one else if URL. Which other routes can we access? Say if. Sorry. Okay, this. So we have this, and then okay, let's stop here for now. So I'll copy this, paste it here, paste this here. So I'll say this is the contact us route. It's contact us route. This is the IFE route. Then this is the about us route. Okay, so let me start again. npm start. Okay, and I can now say this is the home route. If I do /about, say this is the about us route. If I do /ife, see this is the ife route. And if I do /contacts, I see this is the contact us route. So now we have succeeded in displaying content for each of these routes so that they don't clash. Now, one thing we also want to do is if the client tries to make a request to a route that does not exist, that is a route we have not made provision for, let's say /contact us, what happens? We see that at the moment it just keeps loading and loading, and because we are not sending anything back. So what we are going to do is come here and now use our else and say, let me copy this. Now it's no longer going to be 200, it's going to be 404 because the route does not exist. And don't worry if you don't understand this now. Later on, we're going to be talking more about status code. So we are going to be saying this route does not exist. Yeah. So let me clear and npm start. Okay, so if I come here, make a request to contact us, I see this route does not exist. If I do add anything, see this route does not exist. But if I make a request to a route that exists, say about, say this is the about us route. If I make a request to the home route, see this is the home route. So we have succeeded in creating content for each of the routes we want users to be able to access, and the ones we have not made provisions for, we are displaying a message for the client to know that okay, this route does not exist at the moment. So yeah, in the next video I'm going to talk about the different types of methods we have. So far we have been making get requests, but in the next video I'm going to be explaining how to make more than get requests, what post requests are, what patch requests are, what put requests are. And yeah, for now, if you think this is boring, just hang on. When we start talking about Express, you see how we can do all of these things easily. How we don't have to keep writing this and adding them up because our code looks a little bulky now, bulky and somehow dated. But when we start talking about Express, you see how Express makes all of this easy for us. So I'll see you in the next video.